All right, balancers. Today's guest is someone I'm really excited to have on the show because, when you just come across those profiles on Instagram and you're just magnetically drawn to someone, and I'm talking like from the point of view where I feel like we almost have similar neural pathways in our brain. We think about things in a very similar way. So I think this is going to be a very synergistic, easy conversation. So I'm really excited to have you on today. Our guest is the CEO of Speaker by Nimi Mehta. She's a TV and radio presenter, an MC, a podcast host, a speaker, a public speaking mentor. What don't you do? It's the beautiful Nimi Mehta on the podcast today. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here and to synergize with you.
Oh, I love it.
I know.
No, there's going to be a lot of synergizing. I think one of the first things that I was really interested in was your journey from, and I think this is something a lot of people resonate with, that feeling of completing your degree. So you studied journalism and getting your first job, which you have described as being your dream job at the time, and just that first year experience and what happened directly after, because I think that's important context to understand kind of where you've come to now.
Yeah, that's a great first question. So, I mean, just to set the scene, I guess, for people, did journalism at university, came straight out at the age of 21 and got the job to be an MTV presenter. And that for me just felt so normal at the time. When something like that happens to you, you think that life is that easy, especially at such a young age. You come out thinking, wow, it's really going to be dog eat dog. And then this happens and it was amazing.
So you just applied and got the job?
Just applied. It was like an online competition. You had to submit a video reel. And so I booked out my local church's hall and I grabbed all my family and friends and I said, I need you to be extras. And we were in the dressing room and I was walking through pretending it's Fashion Week. And I had like my sister getting her hair done by her friend and, people throwing clothes around.
I love the effort.
It's still on YouTube to this day just because it's so iconic for me. I'm like, I really produced, directed and presented in that.
That's amazing.
And so that is what got me the gig. But it was just what followed after, and I think that we all have these dreams and these goalposts, so to say. And I really thought at that age that you have one goalpost, you get to that goalpost, and then it's over.
Life's done.
Life's done. Like signed, sealed, delivered. Like it's over in a really good way that, I'm just going to be plain sailing after this. Obviously it wasn't. And it was a real hit to the ego. It was a real hit to, my mindset of like, oh, what now? Where do I go now? And I just wasn't prepared for what was after. And so I think that's when I realized, and it really hit me, that my dreams are ever evolving and ever changing. And sometimes when you think something is your dream, it's not. It's just a stepping stone towards the bigger picture.
Yeah, there's always a bigger piece at play. I think we've forgotten one key detail though. So you got the job at MTV and then what happened?
Yeah.
That shattered your ego.
Yeah. Well, I was there for a year and I had a contract for the year and then the contract ended and I was unemployed for a few years after that, trying to hustle back in to be a presenter. So
they just didn't renew it.
Yeah, they didn't renew it. The channel that they basically created was something called like District MTV. So they were trying a new concept of music and fashion together. And it just wasn't picking up. So they ended it all and that was me. That was me done.
Well, what's really interesting? What a beautiful lesson to learn at such a young age, that your dreams are ever evolving and that goals are not, I like talking about it in the frame of goals are not end posts, they're goal posts. No, what do I can't remember even how I talk about it now, but it's kind of like they're just markers along your journey. Say you're running a marathon, right? It's not the finish line. It's just like, oh, you've reached this part of the process. And the reason I think this is so important to really embrace is because it helps you enjoy the process, which is something I really struggle with, that patience piece when not much is happening or things are happening, but they're happening in a different way to what you think. You actually zoom out and you remember you're just in that middle part of between those checkpoints. And when you really zoom out all the way, you realize that's actually what life is.
Yeah.
It's not about, I had a similar experience where I thought that achieving this goal, getting this job, or reaching this point was going to feel a certain way. And it felt great, but then it was over and it was like, okay, now what's the next part of life? So I think it's good to have had that reframe at such a young age where you're like, okay, my goals are actually just markers of what's next.
Yeah,
right?
and the thing is, no one teaches us this. You
Life does.
Yeah, life does, and these experiences teach you. And obviously, we're in a wonderful position now where we can look back and, in hindsight, be like, "Oh, thank God, it really taught me a lot." For some people, I know it can go the other way. I just think that, you know, as we take on these experiences, I think we need to know that we are never, ever the finished product. And I think that's what I was always chasing as a young individual who wanted to be a TV presenter. I want to be Jamila Jamil, or I want to be Davina McCall on the TV. And that was what I had my eyes set on. And I was like, they had their own journey. I didn't recognize that at the time. I thought, oh, overnight they were successes. But I think that it just built my character a lot more.
Yeah, absolutely. So you were saying you were unemployed